Hello, I'm Ian Levine, the co-founder and CEO of ModernVivo, where our mission is to redesign the preclinical drug development process. Because the drug development process is costly and ineffective. It costs between $1 and $6 billion to take a single drug from the lab all the way through human clinical trials, where they fail over 90% of the time. And this begs the question, why do so many of these trials fail? Well, extensive academic literature suggests that clinical failures can be traced directly back to false positives in animal models. And what do they mean by false positives? This is preclinical animal studies showing success and then failing to succeed in the clinic. And this occurs because preclinical animal models have major design flaws that lead to unreliable data. So I want to tell you why protocol development is so challenging. When you're a scientist and you have a new drug that you want to test in animals, you write something called a protocol. These are questions that you need to answer on how you're actually going to run your experiment. Things such as the animal species, age, genetic strain, even something as small as the gauge of the needle is all important information. And the way that scientists get that information is by reading dense academic literature. Common models can be published thousands of times, and it would take years for scientists to manually read and extract conditions on how to actually run their experiment from all of these papers. And because of that, and based off customer discovery interviews, scientists typically take between 2 to 4 weeks to design their experiments after reading only 20 to 30 papers. And because of this, common model conditions, not ones chosen for clinical success, are typically ones picked. And this is a pervasive problem across a large market for our three core customer groups: pharmaceutical companies, contract research organizations. These are groups that essentially pharma companies or labs will pay to design and run their experiments for them because they don't have the resources to do it themselves. And then lastly, academic labs and drug discovery cores. And we estimate that about 12 million in vivo protocols are developed every single year, and the global study spend on those studies is over $17 billion. So, our solution is an AI powered protocol design software platform that helps scientists design their experiments. As I talked about, the status quo, scientists read a very minor fraction of all academic literature, and it takes them about 2 to 4 weeks to design that experiment and write their protocol. Using ModernVivo, software researchers can query our software and find a set of optimized conditions in as little as 1 day, and up to 96% reduction in development time. And just to show you what our software will look like, all a customer has to do is put in the model that they want to optimize, and our software will go through all academic literature and proprietary client data and give a score of success of what we think what model will be the most successful after looking at the results of preclinical studies and correlating that with the results of FDA clinical trials. And moreover, it gives all conditional sets from every model ever published, adding for seamless design of protocols. And ModernVivo provides multiple value drivers. In the near term and an immediate savings, we see of $1 to $6 million by reducing development costs for our clients. In the near term, we aim to increase on patent drug sales by that reduction in development time. If we can reduce development time 2 to 4 weeks, it can increase the number of revenue for our clients by about $12 million. And in the long term, we aim to improve the success of drug candidates across pipelines, leading to millions of dollars in revenue. So in total, we can provide over $25 million in value to our company's pipeline. And our business model is tailored software licenses, where smaller companies that might only want to run one or two models can pay $5,000 for an individual run, where larger customers can pay $50,000 for a 10-seat license, or can have value-based pricing for unlimited access for about $500,000 a year. And we also plan to have academic licenses at $2,500 a year per lab. And our go to market strategy is to entrench with smaller companies and work with academic scientists. By offering academic scientists a cheaper license once they leave academia and start their own companies or start working at another biotech startup, then they'll bring Modern Vivo with them at a higher price point. We also want to partner with biotech accelerators and university tech transfer offices to offer our product to their customers and their portfolio companies at a reduced rate and get us an accelerated amount of customers very quickly. And lastly, we want to do outbound product demos at established company headquarters to show just how seamless we can integrate into their workflows. and our competitors fail to adjust the problem. I want to bring you back to the drug development timeline. There are companies such as Valo and Benchsci that are using artificial intelligence to optimize in vitro cellular-based research, and then Trials AI and Oken are optimizing human clinical trial design. But to the best of our knowledge, there are no other companies that are using artificial intelligence to optimize the design of in vivo animal studies. And because of this, we have an open patent landscape for disruption, which is great because we've already filed our provisional patent application and we own all the intellectual property. There is no university licensed IP. And a question we always get all the time is, what about ChatGPT? Well, the problem with ChatGPT is that first we tried, it produces inaccurate protocols. But second, it provides no rationale for why you're choosing that certain protocol condition. If you're a scientist writing an application to the FDA, you can't just say ChatGPT told me to use this model. You have to give a rationale. And in ModernVivo, we give scientists that data to explain why they've chosen a certain model. And for our financials, we see early and sustained profitability. We want to launch at latest Q1 of 2025, and by Q2 of 2026, we'll be profitable with only 29 clients. And by end of year 2030, we estimate to have over $39 million in annual recurring revenue with a potential exit value of about $230 million. And I want to talk about our founding team. We have an incredible team. I'm Ian Levine, the co-founder and CEO. I just got my master's degree in pharmacology from the University of Michigan, where my research focused on looking at preclinical animal studies of breast cancer metastasis to bone and drug response in those models. I got my bachelor's degree from Virginia Tech, where I got focused on developing novel non-opioid pain therapeutics and developing large preclinical studies of pain studies. And our advisory board is Dr. Ann Gregus and Dr. Matthew Bazinski, who are both assistant professors of neuroscience at Virginia Tech and have over 20 years of experience in the drug development space. And lastly, Dr. Wendy Weber Nelson, who we brought on as our business strategic advisor, has over 25 years of biotech and CRO operational experience. And my other co-founder is Colin Small, a graduate student at Brown University who has extensive background in machine learning and artificial intelligence pipelines. And so just to summarize, our ask is about a $500,000 seed round in order for us to get to our next our next value producing milestone, where we can have a product demo to work with scientists and end users to see what features they'd like to add and if this is something they'd specifically pay for what we have at that moment. Our potential acquirers are large pharmaceutical companies and contract research organizations, and we see an estimated exit of about $230 million. And just to give you a little taste of what we've been hearing from potential customers when we do customer discovery interviews and tell them how we would integrate into their workflow, from an in vivo scientist at a stealth biotech company, hell yes, I'd pay for that product. And this is just a small sampling of what we've heard from many scientists and payers that we've spoken to. Thank you.